Hello everybody, my name is Marisa Tejedor and I am the project manager of the ERN TransplantChild. Today's webinar is about the education and training plan for 2020. The aim of this webinar, as we said before, is to describe the annual education and training plan for activities to be developed and supported by the ERN and the Education and Training Working Group during this year. The methodology we have been following during this year to create the General Education and Training Program has taken into account the multidisciplinary profiles of professionals involved in the network. The working group has analyzed and prioritized target groups in order to address their necessary actions gradually. Within each group, specific subgroups have been identified to analyze and design the activities and the methodology for each one. It was decided to carry out online surveys to the interested groups. In 2017, we launched to the medical professionals, specialized healthcare providers. In 2018, we focused on non-medical professionals, especially nursing personnel, and last year, 2019, we focused on patients and families within the group of other stakeholders. The year after the gap analysis is performed, the educational activities identified in the survey are developed and added to the annual education and training plan. So, those activities carried out to previous groups are continued in the next year. For instance, 2020 we will launch the survey for young trainees within the medical professionals group. For this year's plan, we have identified some topics depending on the target groups. First of all, for medical professionals, we are going to go on with identified items and subjects that falls under the cross-cutting view accordingly to the network's holistic approach to all types of transplantation. The main topics are tolerance, understanding the allograft phenomenon and the immune reaction, the graft, optimizing the transplantation procedure, the surgical procedure, and the graft preservation and graft engineering, and the psychosocial care, patient and family empowerment, but also transplantation team care. The identified topic for the nursing professionals, following the main areas of interest identified in the survey, are conditioning and immunosuppression treatment, side effects, adherence to treatment and patient safety, communication skills, verbal and not verbal, and communicating bad news, cultural awareness, patient and family care, family empowerment in transplant care and adherence to treatment, especially in adolescents, sociocultural and psychological issues in transplantation. Other topics identified for nursing professionals are health education and health improvement in transplant recipients, patient protection as self-care activities and hand washing and disinfection, essential care for patients, and essential care for patients with stones. The identified topics for patients and families in their survey were transition to adulthood, nutritional advice, how to deal with a normal life, like having pets, playing sports, tattoos, piercings, self-care activities during hospitalization, school integration support for patients, and psychological support. Finally, we are going to present the activities foreseen for 2020 as part of the annual plan for TransplantChild. First of all is the TransplantChild workshop on translational research as novel strategies in pediatric transplantation that will be held the 14th of May 2020 in Warsaw. The program will include common and parallel sessions for medical doctors and nurses, and topics of lectures and clinical cases will be the ones identified before. E-learning training activities that are the main activity intended to promote an audience from the medical professional and nursing teams from pediatric transplantation. The format will be an online course divided in several modules according to the key topics identified. TransplantChild webinars. We plan to go on issuing at least one per month, targeting healthcare professionals, both medical and nurses, on the identified topics as well. The webinars will be prepared by members of the network and made available for the full members and affiliate partners and any other professionals involved in the pediatric transplantation process. We will offer the second online course on continuous training in pediatric transplantation. E-learning sessions will be developed to work in depth in the most important topics of the workshop. Secondment program. Short-term stays to share best practice among full members and affiliate partners trying to build leadership capacity in this field will be launched again this year. This time, this initiative will be carried out through the DG-SANTE instrument. Training activities for patients and their family based on the identified topics will be developed. Due to the special characteristic of this target group and the language and geographical constraints, we plan to prepare common material to make it available locally. Other education material for patients and their families will be developed. For example, a guide on key aspects of the post-transplant phase for patients will be issued. In this table, you can see the foreseen times during the year for the different activities in TransplantChild. And finally, we invite you to visit our website for other webinars. Thank you very much.